Tomorrow Brings Sorrow. Written by Mary Wood. Read by Annie Aldington. Chapter 1. Sarah and Billy. The Visit. Loose pebbles crunched under the wheels of Sarah's car. The sound warned her how close she was to her ordeal. Applying pressure on the brake, she slowed the car, not wanting to come to the end of the long driveway. Menston Mental Hospital, the madhouse as the folk of Leeds called it, loomed ahead. She could see its landmark Gothic clock tower and could almost feel the chill of its endless corridors, peopled by the shuffling insane, a stark contrast to the autumn sun outside. Guilt had long since left her, and resentment had replaced it, as the shackles of fear bound her to promises that she'd made in another lifetime. Billy's ways had eroded the forgiveness she'd found, and her love for him had eroded along with it. She tried to accept that his mental illness had caused him to commit such vile acts. But over the years of visiting him here, she'd seen the truth. Billy nurtured a destructive hate. He didn't try to control himself, but instead used bullying tactics to get his own way. Stepping out of her car, Sarah walked towards the building. Once inside, she glanced at the clock. 12:05. She was already late, and no one was at reception to enable her to sign in. Ringing the bell, she willed the clerk to come quickly, for Billy would be getting agitated and that wouldn't bode well. At last she made her way towards the visiting room, and as she did so, a shadow danced across the corridor ahead of her. Billy must have seen her coming. Had he been hiding behind the curtain watching her? Her gut clenched in the same way it had 3 days before, on the 3rd of September at 11:15 in the morning, as she'd listened to Neville Chamberlain announcing, "Britain is now at war with Germany." A sentence that seemed to shroud them all in fear of their own and their loved ones' imminent death, although for her it had held added dread. Thinking of this now, Sarah slowed her step as she neared the large doors. Billy stood in the doorway, with a menacing stance in his strong but not tall frame. His dark hair shone with the Brill cream he'd used to plaster it back. His half-closed coal-black eyes had an unfathomable dull depth to them. When he spoke, his voice mocked. "So you came, then?" "Aye, I came. Not that you deserved me to, after what happened last time." "They don't go over that. We've not got long. I take it they told you as we could have some time alone." "I'm not in agreement with that, Billy. I should have reported you." "Just try and you know what'll happen, don't you? Now let's get inside, eh?" The room's dingy appearance did nothing to ease Sarah's fear. Sage-coloured paint peeled off the walls. Dirt from 1,000 pairs of hands marked the doors, and the oilcloth on the floor had the appearance of a broken jigsaw puzzle in the way its pattern had peeled off in places. A small high window, mottled with mildew, refused the sun entry. The interview rooms, as the powers that be called this room, and the one like it along the corridor, sometimes accommodated private visits with trusted patients. Trusted! How Billy had convinced them of his worthiness to use the room she'd never know. "Come here, me lass." "No, Billy. Not unless you promise not to—" "Sarah, can't you leave it? I said I was sorry. Any road, you're me fiancé. I'm entitled. And you didn't help things by wearing that dress as Mum had made for you. It showed most of your tits, so what did you expect?" "Don't talk like that, Billy. And it didn't. Its square neckline just showed a bit of cleavage. All the girls wear that fashion now." "You're not wearing it today, I see. You couldn't get a cardigan to fasten higher than that one does. Undo a few of the buttons, lass. Give me a treat, eh?" "Oh, Billy, when did you change so much? You used to love and respect me. Everything was going to be right between us. We discussed that we'd wait until we were wed." "Aye, but when will that be? How can I wed you when I'm stuck in here?" Inside, she hoped that would always be so.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?